have scored 644 in NEET UG 2024 after taking a drop about 1 year. And this is my second video in which I'll be discussing about tests and its importance. What are the steps which you need to take in order to have your test analysis done properly? What are the next steps? How to act next? Well, starting off, the first bullet point which I would like to hit is that tests give you a reality check. Both preparation and selection is nothing less than a joke if you are not attempting tests. Tests not only show you where to improve, but it gives you a mirror to yourself. It shows you what is your position, what is your worth. It lets you down, breaks you apart, but trust me, if you get up, if you fight back, you land right in front of your dream college. The next part is how often. How often do you think you should have tests done? Well, I think if you're just starting off with your drop year, then at that point of time, many think about going with one test per week in Sundays, because this is what is planned by most of the coaching institutes, PW, Akash or Allen. Part syllabus tests are pretty much a good idea. They keep you updated about how much syllabus you have completed. And also the frequency of tests should increase further as you, especially from the month of October. At that time, you have to level your preparation up. Your test giving frequency should shift from 1 to at least 2 or 3, which lands you in a position where you are having maybe just 1 or 2 days in between two consecutive tests in a week. So what you need to do is that as the time passes away, you cannot spend 3 to 4 hours in just revising one chapter. Rather, you should be able to cope up with one entire unit, I suppose, in that time span. And then coming to the month of April, I believe, and what especially I have done, every alternative day should be a grand test day. Now, coming to the mode of tests conduct, depends on whether your actual exam is gonna be in CBT form or offline. Right now, as I film this video, there are a lot of speculations going on that NEET can, it can get into the CBT mode. Well, honestly, while you give your exam in a computer-based mode, in an online form, it saves you a lot of time. And you don't need to have those additional skills of, mastering, filling up OMR sheets accurately. These are certain disadvantages which we face while having an offline test. Because if you mark at least one OMR raw, you land straight away into a horror film. So if you are practicing your test giving in an offline form and then the test turns out to be in an online thing, you won't have to undergo too many changes in your schedule or test practice that you like. It won't make a big change, right? It'll be easy shifting from offline to online. But if the exam is going to be conducted in an offline method, then going for an online form is really dangerous. These two forms of tests are totally different. Next, sincerity. Be sincere. Do not cheat, because if you cheat in exams, you'll cheat none, but the candidate will be appearing in the real exam. Well, for sincerity, I would say that your mock test day should be treated as if it's your own test. And there would be a lot of problems, especially you would encounter in that one drop year journey. Or even if you are not a dropper, you're in your standard 11th or 12th preparing for your competitive exams, it will feel like these are the worst days of your life. You have never been so sick before, you have never had so many personal problems arising before. But it's all worth it if you just keep fighting. Just get through it. It's difficult, but you need to do it every day. You need to be consistent. Next is the most important part, that is test analysis. This is the thing which should be done after your results are out. 2 steps. Firstly, get a printout of the paper and then make a test analysis diary or a booklet, which can be made up of even loose sheets. Even if you are having an online test, be sure that the PDF of the test paper would get printed out. Let me show you how I used to do test analysis. Firstly, as you can see, I would categorize my right answers into 3 forms. We would start off with the ones which were known to me. I have already done those. I have prepared and I managed to remember it well and good. I ticked them out. I circled the OMR or clicked on the button as you prefer. And then the ones which you did, which we call tukka. You did akkad bakkad and somehow managed to get one option right and you ticked it, which is a very dangerous step. Do not go for it. And the next one is confusion. You risked it. You took a risk. That is, you were not sure about it. Maybe you were confused between 2 more other options, or you were not sure that this is what is gonna be, but still you chose it. You went for it. What you need to do is that after you get your test paper, you need to circle those which you did out of confusion, but it turned out to be right. Immediately open your book or open your notes copy, go through that particular portion and learn it properly. And the ones which you did not know but dangerously took the risk of tukka, make sure that you write those down in your test analysis book. Then coming to a long list, the ones which you did wrong. So for those ones, I would like to say a lot of categories are there, and all of these questions which you got wrong have to be written down in your test analysis book with the solutions. So the first one, as you can see, is confusion. You were confused and you decided to take a risk, but this time it turned out to be wrong. And then confident. You were confident about it. You were totally sure that yes, this would be it. But still it turned out to be wrong. What happens is that basically we can also categorize it in the category of silly mistakes. Maybe the question went like, which of these options are not true? But you did not see the not over there. You read it like, what are the options are true? Made a mistake. Next one is calculation. That makes you feel like biting your own skin. Calculation mistake, like you knew everything, but there was one small mistake in calculation which ate up your whole 4 marks and gifted you another -1. You should write those down, and you should especially write it over there in bracket that I made calculation mistake over here, so that you practice sums. This basically ends you up in doing nothing but practicing more and more physics MCQs. That's all, and also for physical chemistry MCQs. Lastly, wrong interpretation. Wrong interpretation is when you get your concepts wrong. There are times when you do not get a question, when you don't know that maybe the concept went wrong. So this is when, like, It's another bad part, of doing mistakes in tests. Your concept goes wrong. So you need to again deconstruct whatever concept has been there. You need to read it again, get it done. These are certain things which should be done right after getting the test result. Now coming to the last part of it, the questions which you did not attempt at all. For those, firstly, I've written those which you did not study. You did not study, you didn't go through that part, or you didn't, remember, which gets you to the category of confusion. You couldn't remember exactly what it was. You were confused and you thought not to take a risk. For the risky kind of questions, I think depending on the extent of your confusion, barely 1 or 2 questions in your entire question paper might be taken as a risky one. You can take that risk, but risks always have to be calculated. And the ones which were not to be attempted at all. I don't know how the pattern is going to change or if it's going to remain the same this time, but till 2024, in each section, in each of the 4 sections, we would have 5 questions in the section B, which we won't attempt. It's just not to be attempted. So those are the questions which you will leave, right? You don't need to write these down in your test analysis book unless you find that you left that one question because you did not know about it, or you would get to learn more perhaps. Then you can definitely write those down in your test analysis booklet. Now let me show you certain pictures of my test analysis diary, where I'm going to show you there are different steps you take. Maintaining a test analysis booklet is very important. If your preparation is important, your revision is important, so is this. So in the first one, as you can see, it was a motional EMF question which I got wrong. I couldn't find out the direction of electron. So I have explained the part where I have made the mistake, and I have written down the solution in a way which makes me understand it with ease. You won't get a lot of time before your exam, or you cannot spend a lot of time opening your test analysis book. I think every day 1 hour should be given in revising these mistakes which you made and the right solutions to it. So in such kind of a situations, it will be easier for you to flip the pages and understand the concept if it's written in a way which is very easily understandable by you yourself. No one is going to review these copies. You're not going to win any handwriting contest. Write it down in your own ease. Then write down the mistake which you made and the correction. What went wrong? The entire sum cannot go wrong sometimes. Sometimes there was just one single point where you made the mistake and it all went away in vain. So you, like in this point, perhaps I've written find the ratio. I didn't find the ratio properly, did a very silly mistake towards the end of the sum. So you should see to it that you write it down in brackets so that as you flip the pages of your booklet, you can see it immediately. You can recognize your mistake. Even though you haven't got time to look at the entire sum, you just have to read what you wrote in a small note, in a small bracket. Now the most important part is the one which I have mentioned towards the end. That is ascending and descending orders. Either you have missed it out, haven't paid attention to the tables and the charts in the NCERT book. You should always convert the tabulated data into orders, different orders or other forms of data which will be asked in the questions. These are very important, and I think throughout the entire chemistry NCERT you would find these, and also in biology. I still remember the part where there was the breathing and exchange of gases, and In a small table there was written the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So sometimes database questions may pop up. We don't often pay attention to these small details, but you should. What you can do is that at the back of these formula booklet itself, you can summarize those small details, write those down in your ease in a language you can understand in the form of flow charts, which is a very good idea. So that can give you a good visual memory as well. So it's of course helpful. Now getting to the conclusory part. Do not sacrifice concepts. You should always remember what your main objective is. It's that last exam which you give. It's the competitive exam you're preparing for. It's not these small tests. These small tests are the small steps which you need to take to get over there. But just because you want to have a good marks in your test, you start sacrificing the concepts. Or you think like there is a greater tendency that only that part of the chapter would be asked in a test. So what I do is that I skip the first part, or I skip or any other part which you think is not that much necessary, and I straight away jump to that part. Doesn't build your concept, and you forget, you tell yourself, you promise yourself that you'll be doing it after the test, but you forget. You forget doing that part. And these small parts keep building up as a mountain. And on one day, that is before the final exam date, you tend to hit this realization that there is a lot part which I forgot to touch. Or it's going to hit you maybe in the month of April when you're almost towards the end and it's the time of revising the full syllabus. You'll be having already a lot of these small parts left behind. It's not good. These are the small steps which no one talks about. But these are the steps which are gonna make that grand step out. It's gonna polish that grand step out. And then how long would you change for? Tests make you change. Tests show you your position, drag your real addiction out of you, makes you sit back to your study table. But how long do you retain that change for? Is it 1 week, or if you're too good a student, is it 1 month? How long? Can you do it for the entire year? Is that change gonna be in you for an entire year? Are you gonna be consistent enough? Is your perseverance gonna be throughout? That's the question I leave up to you guys. It's up to you. If you want to change just for 1 week or 1 month for namesake, don't aim for the big competitives. Don't take these words too harshly. These are to my sweet juniors who are still improving, who are still climbing up the stairs. I'm just here to help you through. So if you have reached up to here, thank you for watching it with patience. Hope it helps. Hope it guides you enough, gets you back in your study table. Keep studying. Get back. Thank you.